Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the world. My name is Lior Skaler. Thank you so much for being on the webinar today. This is the weekly webinar for the Australia team, and we have a great training for everybody today called Troubleshoot Your Business. And this document is a document for distributors who are having a slow start in their business, because when a distributor has a slow start in network marketing, it is usually because they are simply not following the system. At GWT, we understand that most new distributors have very little experience, if any, in running their own home business. And to help them progress, GWT provides cutting-edge training to ensure their success. This Troubleshoot Your Business document is an integral part of the GWT training program and helps to advance momentum with a systematic troubleshooting checklist. Simply, if your business is growing slower than you would like, the answer is in one or more lines of the following checklist. So, first of all, you will need a pen and you will need a paper, because each of the points on this checklist has a certain amount of points. And at the end of the checklist, you're going to add up all of your points, and you're going to see exactly where you're at in your business. And then we're going to look at, if you want to have your business growing faster, where you need to be, okay? So everybody please get a pen and a paper, because this checklist is going to show you exactly where you are with your business and where you need to go. So each point has a different amount of points, okay? So each item has a different amount of points. This item has 5 points. It's worth 5 points. Some items are worth 10 or 20 points. So the higher the points, the more important they are and the more valuable they are. So point number 1 is my Gen 1 and I. So when it says my Gen 1 and I, it's not only referring to you, it's referring to you and your first generation, okay? And your first generation are the people who you have personally introduced into the business, okay? So it's not enough that you're doing it. It's got to be you and your Gen 1. So my Gen 1 and I fluently know all company information regarding the phone number, fax number, website, ticketing support system, G-Line, and Facebook pages. If the answer is yes for both you and your Gen 1, then you give yourself 5 points for this item. If the answer is no, give yourself 0. And if the answer is partial, give yourself 2.5 points. Okay? Item number 2, my Gen 1 and I regularly listen to all advanced training webinars. This includes the Sunday 9:15 p.m. and the Startup Training webinar Tuesdays at 9:15 p.m. If the answer is yes, give yourself 5 points. If it's no, give yourself 0. And if it's partial, give yourself 2.5 points. Okay? The next question is a 10-point question. So a 10-point question is a little bit more important. My Gen 1 and I attend all local events, most regional events, and have registered for the annual international convention. If the answer is yes, 10 points. No, 0 points. Partial, 5 points. All right? So yes, 10, no, 0, partial 5. Next item. My Gen 1 and I have all must-have company tools, including the MagPack, Lookbook, Forensic Networker Kit, and CDs and personal development books and CDs. If the answer is yes, 10 points. No, 0, partial, 5 points. Okay? Next question is another 10-point question. My Gen 1 and I regularly utilize the My5, which is your qualified upline support team, for 3-way calls and training. Okay? So, do you and does your first generation call your My5 for any 3-way calls or training? If the answer is yes, 10 points. No, 0, partial, 5 points. All right. Another 10-point question. My Gen 1 and I have clearly identified my 3 important reasons why we started our GWT business. So have you identified your 3 important reasons why you initially got started? Do you know the 3 reasons why your first generation has gotten started with their GWT business? All right, if the answer is yes, 10 points. No, 0, and partial, 5 points. Next item is a 20-point question, all right? 20-point questions are very, very important to your business. My Gen 1 and I are fluent in the 5-minute napkin presentation and the 7-figure plan. So do you understand the 5-minute napkin presentation, and do you understand how to deliver it? And the 7-figure plan. Do you understand it, and do you know how to deliver it? Not only for you, but for your first generation. If the answer is yes, give yourself 20 points. If the answer is no, give yourself 0. And if it's partial, give yourself 10 points. All right? Yes is 20, no is 0, partial, 10 points. Next item. My Gen 1 and I share with the world via social media, text blast, and email blast. So I have just received my $1,000 or $500 worth of free FERI jewelry by becoming a luxury consultant, and so did my friends. I want to tell you about it, okay? So do you share with people on Facebook, on Instagram, via text message, via email blast, that specific line right there? And this is a 15-point question. If the answer is yes, give yourself 15 points. No, give yourself 0. Partial, 7.5 points. Okay? The next item, my Gen 1 and I share with our friends and family by calling them. This means picking up the phone and calling them. I just received my $1,000 or $500 worth of free FERI jewelry by becoming a luxury consultant, and so did my friends. I want to tell you about it. If the answer is yes, 15 points. No, 0, partial, 7.5 points. So go ahead and give yourself whatever score applies to that. Okay? My Gen 1 and I have scheduled our branding parties weekly and are conducting them. So, are you doing a weekly branding party? Have you scheduled it? Have you done it? Are you doing it? Is your first generation, have they scheduled it, and are they doing a weekly branding party? If the answer is yes, 20 points. It's a very important item. Give yourself 20 points. If it's no, 0, and if it's partial, give yourself 10 points. All right. Next item. My Gen 1 and I send out Glamo packs. Now, a Glamo pack is the mag pack and the lookbook together. My Gen 1 and I send out Glamo packs to all invitees and in advance to ensure they show up to the branding party. So when you have a branding party, do you give them the mag pack and the lookbook, and do you say to them, take a look at this and bring it to the branding party to ensure that they show up? If the answer is yes, give yourself 5 points. If it's no, give yourself 0. And if it's partial, give yourself 2.5 points. All right, the next item. My Gen 1 and I follow up on all prospects until they become involved or simply say they are not interested. Infinite follow-up. Are you constantly following up with your prospects until they either get involved or say they're not interested? If the answer is yes, give yourself 10 points. If it's no, give yourself 0. And if it's partial, give yourself 5 points. So go ahead and give yourself your score. My Gen 1 and I are always promoting the next events, the next tours, the next branding parties, the next special webinars, the next conference calls. Are you on the phone? Are you text messaging? Are you Facebook messaging your team? And are you excited? Are you promoting? Guys, we have the regional event coming up. Guys, we have the webinar coming up. Guys, we have this happening and this happening and this happening. Are you doing that? If you are, give yourself 10 points. If you're not, give yourself 0. And partial, give yourself 5 points. I always fill the survey for my prospect after the tour, okay? So I sit down with them or I talk to them on the phone and I ask them, what did you like best about, and I go through the questions with them. Do you go through the questions on the survey with your prospects after the tour? If the answer is yes, 5 points. No, 0, partial, 2.5 points. We have a 20-point question. Very, very important question here. My Gen 1 and I have reviewed and followed the next 30 days action plan, the Launchpad, and the ABCDs of GWT products. Okay? So it's have you and have your Gen 1 done this? If the answer is yes, give yourself 20 points. If the answer is no, give yourself 0. And if the answer is partial, give yourself 10 points. My Gen 1 and I have placed business ads in the newspaper. Have you and have your first generation placed business ads in the newspaper? The answer is yes, 10 points. No, 0, partial, 5 points. It's a great way to advertise your business. My Gen 1 and I conduct or participate in one branding party every week. So do you conduct or participate in at least one branding party every week? And does your first generation? If the answer is yes, 5 points. If the answer is no, 0. If it's partial, 2.5 points. So give yourself a score on that. All right. I have 25 Glamo packs given to prospects at all times, okay? And again, a Glamo pack is the mag pack and the mag pack, okay? So that's the Glamo pack, all right? So do you always have 25 Glamo packs to prospects? What does that mean? Do you give them out? The question is, do 25 people right now have a Glamo pack, and have you scheduled to pick it up from them to follow up with them on their thoughts on it? Okay, so you should always be handing out Glamo packs and telling people you're going to pick it up from them to get their thoughts. If the answer is yes, give yourself 10 points. If the answer is no, give yourself 0, and if it's partial, give yourself 5 points. I completely understand the navigation of the GWT website and the back office. Do you understand how to go through everything on the website and where everything is in the back office? If the answer is yes, give yourself 5 points. If it's no, give yourself 0, and if it's partial, give yourself 2.5 points. My Gen 1 and I have reviewed the training documents and have watched all the video trainings and tutorials posted on the Core Diplomatique, okay? So have you in your first generation went to the back office under My Tools and training videos and training documents? Have you reviewed it, and have you watched all the video trainings there, okay, and all the tutorials in the back office? If the answer is yes, give yourself 10 points. No, 5 points. Sorry, no, 0, partial, 5 points. And please be as honest as you possibly can, because this is for your business, okay? And it's going to help you. My Gen 1 and I utilize one-on-one, two-on-one, three-way calls, online tools, and branding parties as a main method of presentation. So when you do a tour, do you do tours using one-on-ones, two-on-ones, three-way calls, online and branding parties? Do you and your first generation do these things? This is a 20-point question, very important. If the answer is yes, 20 points. No, 0, partial, 10 points. All right, so at this point, please add up your score, okay? Add up all the points until you have your score. That score is where your business is currently at, okay? So I want you to, I'm going to give you guys a few seconds, 30 seconds, to add up your score, get a calculator, ask somebody in the house who's good at math, you know, whatever you need to do, add up your score and get that score. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to do that. Go ahead. All right, so I hope everybody has added up their score. So now we're going to see what your score means. Your total score determines your status and your income potential. So let's see what your score means. If you have a score between 176 and 200 points, you are a serious part-time luxury consultant with 6-figure per year income potential. Okay? So, according to Forensic, you are a serious part-time LC with 6-figure income potential. Congratulations if this is you. Okay? You are headed for some serious residual income. If you are part of the B group, which is between 126 points and 175 points, you are a part-time LC with a few $1,000s a month income potential, okay? So your potential of making money in this business is a few $1,000s a month. So if you're in this group, that's great if your goal is to make a few $1,000s a month. If it's not, you know where you need to go. If you're in the C group between 51 points and 125 points, you are a casual, sometime LC with a few $100s a month income potential. So if you're happy with a few $100s a month, continue what you're doing. If you want more than that, you know where you need to get to. And the final group is the D group, which is 0 to 50 points, which is a GWT customer who's buying products from their own store. Okay? If you just love the products, and if you just want to buy the products, perfect. Your score is exactly where you need to be. But if you want to make money, either a few hundred, a few thousand, or 6 figures a year, then you can now see which group you need to belong in. Okay? And what I would suggest is just to review this checklist, review the document, so that you know exactly what you need to do in order to get to a higher group, okay? So I know that it's 8:30, and I want to acknowledge it's 8:30, and I want to respect everybody's time, but I would like to give some very brave people on this call an opportunity to share their current score and to let everybody know what is their target by the end of the year. So if anybody would like to share, please either raise your hand, so click the hand button, and I will unmute you, or you can type your score into the question box and let everybody know which category you would like to be in by the end of the year. So I'm just going to give a few people here an opportunity to share. Remember, this is for you to step up in your leadership and it's okay. Whatever category you're in, it's okay. You know, you just have to be honest. You just have to share, because sharing and being honest is going to inspire other people to take the next steps in their business to be able to get to wherever they want to go. So, you know, I don't see any brave people yet. Sharing. Oh, here we go. We have one brave person here, and that is Anat Aloni. Anat is saying she just finished the math, and her score is 127.5. So, Anat, you are in the B group, which means you are a part-time luxury consultant with a potential of a few $1,000s a month. Congratulations. That's a great group to be in. And if you're happy with that, then you're exactly where you need to go. Now, you are on the lower end of the B group. So you're almost at a C. So you're kind of in between a few $100s a month and a few $1,000s a month. And so if you know that you're not happy with that you want to get to the next level, then you now know exactly what you need to do to get there. And Anat said her goal is to be at 175. So 175 by the end of the year, which will be a guaranteed $1,000 a month for Anat. So Anat, congratulations. Thank you for stepping up as a leader and sharing. I'm sure you've inspired a lot of people on the call with your sharing. Thank you for that. We now have Asaf who raised his hand. So Asaf, thank you so much for sharing with everybody. I've unmuted you. You can unmute yourself, Asaf, and go ahead and share with everybody.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. So I'm in the C group. I think I'm in the lower C group, actually. And by the end of the year, it's going to be A group.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you for your honesty, Asaf. You know, that's fantastic. It's great wherever you are, ladies and gentlemen. It's great that you've calculated and that you know where you need to be, because we're always getting better. We're always doing what we need to do to get better. So you're at a C group right now, which is great. You have a few $100s a month income potential, and your goal is to be in the A, and now you know exactly what you need to do in order to get there. So thank you, Asaf, for sharing. Very inspiring. Thank you for your leadership. I'm sure that everybody is inspired by your sharing. So I don't see anybody else sharing, so I just want to say thank you, everybody, for being on the call. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody going through this checklist and getting up to the A level soon. Have a great morning, great afternoon, or great evening wherever you are in the world. Take care. Bye-bye.